Imagine for a moment that there is a giant 3-pound chemical factory sitting right inside your upper abdomen. This factory never closes. It doesn't take lunch breaks, it doesn't sleep, and it performs over 500 different vital functions every single second of your life. It filters out poisons, stores energy like a massive battery, produces the bile you need to digest your food, and even helps regulate your blood sugar. We are talking about your liver, the most overworked and underappreciated organ in the human body. But here is the terrifying part that most people don't realize until they are sitting in a hospital gown. Your liver is a silent sufferer. It is incredibly resilient, often regenerating itself even after significant injury. But it has a breaking point, stabbing pain to let you know it's in trouble. Instead, it sends out subtle, strange, and often easily ignored whispers. Today, we are breaking down the 10 early signs of liver damage that most people brush off as something else. If you've been feeling unusually sluggish, seeing weird changes in your skin, or noticing your digestion is completely out of whack, you need to listen closely. Your liver might be trying to tell you that its factory is about to shut down. Let's get right into the first sign, and it's one that almost every single person watching this has likely experienced at some point. I'm talking about a heavy, persistent exhaustion that feels like you are trying to walk through a vat of molasses. Why does liver damage make you so tired? Well, remember how I said the liver is like a battery? One of its main jobs is to store glucose in the form of glycogen. When your body needs a quick energy boost, the liver converts that glycogen back into glucose and pumps it into your bloodstream. When your liver is damaged or scarred, it loses its ability to store and release energy efficiently. You are essentially running on a faulty battery that can't hold a charge. At the same time, because the liver isn't filtering out metabolic waste products efficiently, those toxins start to circulate in your blood, making your brain feel foggy and your muscles feel weak. If you wake up feeling just as tired as when you went to bed, and no amount of coffee seems to fix it, your liver might be struggling to keep the lights on. The second sign is something you might notice while you are getting ready in the morning, and it's a change in the color of your skin or the whites of your eyes. This is known as jaundice. Now, many people think jaundice only happens in severe cases, but in the early stages, it can be very subtle. You might just notice that your eyes don't look as bright white as they used to, appearing slightly yellowish or dull. This happens because of a substance called bilirubin. Bilirubin is a yellow pigment that is created when old red blood cells break down. A healthy liver picks up this bilirubin and processes it so it can be excreted in your bile. But if your liver cells are damaged, they can't keep up with the workload. The bilirubin builds up in your blood and eventually leaks into your tissues, tinting your skin and eyes yellow. If you find yourself looking in the mirror and wondering why your complexion looks a bit off or jaundiced, moving on to the third sign, which is found in the bathroom, we need to talk about the color of your urine and your stools. It's not the most pleasant topic, but it is one of the most reliable indicators of liver health. Usually, bilirubin is what gives your stool its brown color. If the liver isn't producing enough bile, or if the flow of bile is blocked because of liver inflammation, your stools can become pale, clay-colored, or even gray. On the flip side, because that excess bilirubin is being backed up into the blood, your kidneys try to help out by filtering it into your urine. This makes your urine look dark, like the color of tea, cola, or burnt orange, even if you are drinking plenty of water. If you notice a persistent change where your urine is getting darker and your stools are getting lighter, your liver is likely facing a major roadblock in its plumbing system. The fourth sign is something that many people dismiss as a simple skin condition: persistent itchy skin. I'm not talking about a dry patch or a rash from a new laundry detergent. This is an itch that feels deep, systemic, and often worse at night. Scientists believe this happens because of the accumulation of bile salts under the skin. When the liver can't properly excrete bile, those salts overflow into the bloodstream and settle in the skin tissues, irritating the nerve endings. People with early liver damage often find themselves scratching their arms, legs, or palms until they are sore, yet no amount of cream or lotion provides relief. Your liver might be trying to tell you that it's overflowing with waste. Let's talk about the fifth sign, which is sudden and unexplained swelling. This usually shows up in two places: your ankles and feet, or your abdomen. Swelling in the legs is called edema, while swelling in the belly is known as ascites. This happens for a very specific reason. One of the liver's jobs is to produce a protein called albumin. Albumin acts like a sponge in your bloodstream, keeping fluid inside your blood vessels so it doesn't leak out into the surrounding tissues. When the liver is damaged, it stops producing enough albumin. Without that sponge effect, Fluid starts to leak out and pool in your lower extremities due to gravity. If your shoes are suddenly too tight or your waistband is straining even though you haven't changed your diet, it's not just water weight. It's a sign that your liver's protein production is hitting a wall. The sixth sign is an interesting one because it involves how your body reacts to minor bumps and scrapes, or perhaps a tiny paper cut bleeds for what feels like an eternity. This happens because the liver is responsible for creating the clotting factors that allow your blood to thicken and stop bleeding. When liver function drops, your blood becomes thinner, metaphorically speaking. Your blood vessels become more fragile, and your body loses its ability to repair minor leaks in the circulatory system, making you vulnerable to internal and external bleeding issues. The seventh sign is often mistaken for general digestive upset or food intolerances, and that is persistent nausea and a loss of appetite. Since the liver is the primary organ for processing nutrients and detoxifying the substances we ingest, any damage to it will make your digestive system very unhappy. You might feel a lingering sense of queasiness after eating, or you might find that the mere thought of food makes you feel sick. This is often because the liver is slightly enlarged and pressing against the stomach, or because the body is simply trying to tell you it can't handle more work right now. If you've lost your zest for eating and your stomach feels like it's constantly in a knot, your liver might be the hidden culprit behind your digestive woes. Now for the eighth sign, which is quite specific and often overlooked. It is the appearance of small, red, spider-like veins on your skin, particularly on your chest, neck, or face. Doctors call these spider tokens, angiomas. They look like a central red spot with tiny capillaries radiating outward, resembling a spider's legs. These appear because liver damage causes an imbalance in your hormones, specifically estrogen. When estrogen levels rise because the liver isn't breaking them down properly, it causes your small blood vessels to dilate and become visible near the surface of the skin. While one or two might not be a cause for alarm, the ninth sign is a change in your mental state, often referred to as brain tokens, fog or hepatic encephalopathy in more advanced stages. At its early stage, it might just feel like you are a bit more forgetful than usual. You might lose your train of thought, have trouble concentrating at work, or experience subtle changes in your personality, like being more irritable. When it fails to do so, these toxins travel straight to your brain. Ammonia is particularly problematic for brain cells, interfering with how they communicate and function. If you feel like your mental sharpness is slipping and you just don't feel plugged tokens into your life anymore, it might be the result of a toxic buildup that your liver failed to catch, just under your ribs. As I mentioned, the liver doesn't have many pain nerves, but the capsule, the thin layer of tissue that surrounds the liver, does. If your liver becomes inflamed, swollen, or fatty, it stretches that capsule, leading to a persistent heavy sensation. It's not usually a sharp pain, but more of a nagging discomfort that you might try to stretch out or rub away. But if that heavy feeling persists, it is a localized warning from the organ itself that it is taking up more space than it should because it is under stress. Now that we have walked through these 10 signs, it is vital to understand that the liver is one of the most forgiving organs we have, provided we catch the issues early. It has a remarkable capacity to heal itself, but it needs the right conditions to do so. The modern world is quite hard on the liver, between processed foods, environmental toxins, and our frequent use of medications. We are asking this organ to do more than it was ever designed for. Many people ask, how does liver damage even start? For some, it is the result of what we call non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. This is becoming an epidemic across the globe. It happens when too much fat is stored in liver cells, often due to a diet high in sugar and refined carbohydrates. This fat causes inflammation, which leads to scarring, also known as fibrosis. If that scarring becomes extensive, it turns into cirrhosis, which is a much more difficult condition to manage. Others might face liver stress from regular alcohol consumption or long-term use of certain medications, including the common pain reliever acetaminophen, which is found in hundreds of over-the-counter products. And eventually, the workload causes cell damage. Then there are the viral factors, like hepatitis, which can go undetected for years while slowly damaging the liver's architecture. This is why knowing these 10 signs is so important. You are the only one who can notice if your skin feels different, if your energy levels have tanked, or if your digestion has changed. The good news is that there are very simple ways to check on your liver health. A basic blood test called a liver function panel can tell a doctor a lot about what's happening inside that chemical factory. It looks for certain enzymes like ALT and AST, which leak into your blood when liver cells are damaged. It also looks at your bilirubin levels and your protein levels. If you recognize 3 or 4 of the signs we talked about today, getting this simple blood test could be one of the most important things you ever do for your future. But what can you do right now to support your liver? It starts with what you put in your mouth. Your liver loves bitter foods. Things like dandelion greens, arugula, and cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and Brussels sprouts contain compounds that help the liver produce the enzymes it needs for detoxification. Hydration is also key. Your liver needs water to move toxins through its filtration stages and into the bile for excretion. Reducing your intake of refined sugars, especially high fructose corn syrup, is moving the needle in a big way. Unlike other sugars that can be processed by any cell in your body, fructose is handled almost exclusively by the liver. When you flood your system with sugary drinks, leading directly to the fatty liver issues we discussed. Even just cutting back on sodas and processed snacks can give your liver the breathing room it needs to start its natural repair process. Think of your liver as the ultimate guardian. It stands between you and everything you ingest, inhale, or absorb through your skin. It is the buffer that keeps you safe from the toxic elements of the world. When you take care of your liver, you are taking care of your heart. I want you to take a moment and really listen to your body tonight. Don't brush off that fatigue as just getting older. Don't ignore that strange itch or that dull ache in your side. These are not inconveniences, they are communications. Your body is incredibly smart, but it can only do so much to get your attention. If you found this information eye-opening, think about your friends and family. Liver health is rarely talked about because it isn't glamorous, yet it is fundamental to every aspect of our well-being. Share what you've learned. Encourage the people you love to pay attention to these 10 signals. We spend so much time worrying about external appearances, but the real secret to feeling and looking great starts with the health of our internal organs. Your liver is a champion. It has likely saved you from countless illnesses and toxic exposures without you ever knowing it. It's time to return the favor. By being aware of these 10 signs, by choosing liver-supportive foods, and by being mindful of the chemicals and substances you expose yourself to, you are giving your liver the best chance to keep performing its 500 vital functions for many years to come. Let's dive deeper into some of the lifestyle habits that might be secretly taxing your liver. We often think of toxins as something from a chemical spill. Taking multiple medications that are all processed by the liver can create a traffic tokens jam in your metabolic pathways. Even something as simple as taking a pain reliever with a glass of juice or a sugary snack can change how your liver handles those substances. It's always worth asking your doctor if the supplements or medications you are taking are safe for long-term liver health. The chemicals in our cleaning products, the pesticides on our produce, and even the pollutants in the air we breathe eventually make their way to the liver for processing. This is why washing your fruits and vegetables thoroughly and choosing natural cleaning products when possible isn't just a trend. It's a way to lighten the load on your internal filter. The less work you give your liver on the outside, the more energy it has to repair itself on the inside. And let's talk for a moment about sleep. While the liver works 24 hours a day, it has a specific rhythm. According to some traditional health practices and even modern chronobiology, the liver is particularly active in its detoxification and repair processes during the middle of the night while you are in deep sleep. Restorative stages. Your liver may be missing out on its prime maintenance window. Prioritizing good sleep hygiene is, strangely enough, one of the best things you can do for your liver. Your liver's ability to regenerate is one of the miracles of human biology. Even if it has been under stress for years, it is never too late to start making better choices. Every healthy meal, every glass of water, and every decision to avoid an unnecessary toxin is a win for your liver. It doesn't ask for much. Just the right fuel and a little bit of respect for the massive job it does, without needing a chemical jumpstart. Imagine your skin looking clear and vibrant because your blood is truly clean. This is what's possible when your liver is functioning at its peak. It's not just about avoiding illness, it's about pursuing a level of health where you feel truly alive. As we look at the signs again, from the dark urine to the spider veins, remember that these are simply data points. They are clues in a mystery that your body is inviting you to solve. Don't be afraid of the clues. Use them to take action. Use them to start a conversation with your healthcare provider. Use them as motivation to treat yourself with a little more kindness. The human body is an amazing machine, and the liver is its engine room. When the engine is running smooth, the whole ship moves gracefully through the water. But when the engine starts to smoke or make strange noises, you don't just turn up the radio to ignore it. You pull over, You look under the hood, and you fix the problem. Knowledge is the first step in that repair process. You now have the knowledge to recognize these 10 early signs of liver damage. You know that fatigue isn't just a mood, and jaundice isn't just a color. You know that your digestion, your skin, and your mental clarity are all windows into the health of your liver. Your health is your most precious resource. Protect it with the same intensity that your liver protects you every single day. Stay informed, stay proactive, and always value the incredible work your body is doing behind the scenes. Your liver is working for you right now, this very second. Make sure you are working for it too. Take care of your filter, keep learning, and keep thriving. Your liver is on your side, and now you are on its side too.